Webb Middle School, education goes beyond core academics. The true measure of student success isn't just found in grades. It's in the ability to think critically, communicate effectively, collaborate with others, and adapt to new challenges. These soft skills, creativity, resilience, leadership, teamwork, and adaptability, are the foundation for high school, college, and career readiness. And researchers have shown that students who develop these skills early are not only more academically successful, but also better prepared for life beyond the classroom. In a world where knowledge is readily available at our fingertips, the ability to apply knowledge creatively and collaboratively is what sets individuals apart.
Well, the middle school concept came into being in the United States somewhere in the 60s and 70s. It treated middle school students as unique time of life. So it was not really related to high school in this way. And that's when connections came into being. The idea is kids get a taste of what it's like to be a music performer, to perform music live in front of people. And it's not something necessarily going to do as a career, but people do this as a career, and they get a taste. So whenever they go to a concert, any concert, anywhere, they realize what it takes to play that music and to play it really well. And it gives them just a broader understanding of the kind of the fun things in life, I guess, if you say. The things that don't, we consider them non-essential, but they're the things that make life really interesting. And that's that came in with the middle school concept. You're playing music, you're doing many, many things. You're counting, you're physically playing your instrument, you're listening to other people, you're watching the conductor. It's about 6 or 7 things you're asked to do at one time. And it teaches them to think on their feet, which you're always going to have to do. My son, by the way, he's a pilot. And I flew with him one time. And I asked him, I said, how do you keep track of all this stuff? And he says, well, Dad, I played in orchestra for 6 years. I got used to watching the conductor and counting. So now when I'm in the plane and they're talking to me on the intercom and I'm looking, I'm studying my instruments, as I'm accustomed to doing many things at one time. So if you're ever you're going to enter a field where you have to do many things at one time, music prepares you for that very nicely.
Hey, my name is Coach Meenan. I teach 6th and 7th grade PE and 8th grade personal fitness at Webb Middle School. I think the misconception about PE is that it's just recess for kids. Kids get a chance to run around and play games and hang out with their friends. We try to do a large range of activities here. There are individual games where the kids will go out and play tennis. And there's teachers there and we'll help them, we'll show them how to practice their shots, and if they get good enough, there'll be tactics. Then there'll be kids who will lacrosse. There's kids who, and one of the biggest surprises to us is kids who start to be involved with track. They never did a chance before, they didn't realize this was it, but through our track portion, they realized, I'm actually a pretty good runner. I can do this with a little bit of work. We'll encourage them. We've got a great relationship with the high school. We believe that if you participate in an activity in high school, you feel more connected to that high school. You feel like you're part of the high school, you feel proud of the high school, and you feel like the effort that you put in, you will get rewarded for that effort with community, team spirit, the school supporting you after you've donated your time and effort to represent the school. Teach them how to work together as a team. Teach them how to deal with successes, how to deal with failures, how to put in hard work, how that there's benefits for those hard work. Kids learn that your actions have a consequence, positively or negatively, in the people around you. Fitness is an important part of their life every day. And we believe that if you're healthy physically, then you're able to academically achieve more. The final and you lose, and that is heartbreaking. However, that is real life. Sometimes you don't get the job, sometimes you don't get the promotion, sometimes your project isn't done well, and you learn how to deal with those setbacks by getting yourself prepared, doing a better job next time, and then trying to do it all, pull your socks up and trying to do it all over again. At this age, these students are developing. So many kids today, they want to sit on their video games, they want to sit on their iPad, they want to scroll through their phones, but actually in class, when they have to actually get out there and do something, can make them realize this isn't so bad. And right now, it's coming towards probably week 15, and every week we do a mile run, and the times of those kids are getting better and better and better, and some of those kids are starting to say, I think I would like to do this after this class finishes. I would like to do this in high school. I would like to maybe do this just to be fit and be healthy themselves. So yeah, it's an essential part, it's an essential age for these kids to be influenced positively by their teachers and role models.
Several studies confirm that when students are taught to problem solve, lead, manage emotions, and work in teams, they're better equipped for success in high school and beyond. In fact, researchers like Farako, Bakshande, and Jaydoun have all emphasized that students with stronger soft skills not only perform better academically, but also enjoy greater life satisfaction and long-term motivation. One such study by Farako and colleagues found that soft skills significantly influence student motivation and engagement. These are the qualities that keep learners focused, help them bounce back from setbacks, and keep going when the work gets hard. And in today's job market, employers increasingly value these traits. Communication, adaptability, and teamwork consistently top the list of what companies look for in young hires.
Hi, my name is Webb, and I am the teacher for American Sign Language. In ASL, we learn all about the culture, and how we improve in the deaf community, and learning different words, vocabulary, and sign, conceptual sign. We also learn how to become more empathetic toward people and to understand differences. Quite a few students are learning ASL because of family members, like brothers or sisters, because who want to communicate fluently with him and not have any breakdown in communication. A few students are very motivated to become interpreters for the deaf. A few students that are interested in becoming audiologists and speech and language pathologists, because that is some of the careers that is working connection with the deaf community.
Connections courses support these outcomes by also strengthening something called receptive and expressive literacy. Students learn to actively listen, interpret meaning, and decode information through language, music, movement, and visuals. Just as importantly, they learn to express themselves, to speak, perform, design, write, and present their ideas with clarity and confidence. Whether decoding musical notation, interpreting a new language, critiquing a peer's artwork, or telling a story through video, our students are developing communication skills that will serve them in any field.
I'm Caroline Reitzis, and I teach chorus at Webb. So in addition to teaching musical skills such as singing and music literacy skills, we are teaching teamwork, collaboration. We're teaching kids to follow through with goals, to work on hard things, and to persevere so that they are able to come together as a team and create something that's more beautiful than what we could all do on our own.
In my class, audio, video, film technology, students are learning way more than just how to use camera and how to edit. What they're learning about is storytelling, and that's important no matter what career you end up in. Telling a story, telling a narrative, getting your message across is vital. Every project is a team effort where they take on real roles, solve real problems, and bring ideas to life. When students are making films, problems come up all the time, and it's actually really good for them because then they have to figure it out. They have to talk together, work on, well, okay, we've got a time problem. The deadline's coming up today. Who's going to be working on reshooting the clips that went wrong? Who else is going to be working in the edit? And working together like that is like the real world situation of working with a crew or working in any company, in any industry. It builds creativity, communication, and leadership. For a lot of students, it's the first time they've been seen, heard, capable of shaping the world around them.
The benefits of these skills stretch far beyond middle school. Research from McCollum and Jaydoun shows that students who develop interpersonal abilities early, like empathy, collaboration, and decision-making, are not only more likely to succeed academically, but also more likely to thrive in their careers. Soft skills may sound simple, but they have a lifelong impact. And connections classes are where these skills come to life.
Ready, one, get ready, ready, 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready, and 1.
My name is Kirk Stroud, and I teach middle school band for the grades of 6 through 8. Self-discipline, all the different skills of teamwork, all those different things that colleges look for. Your ability to work out and critically solve a problem. we do in band every day. The skills that the students learn in class are very important. Working together to create something beautiful. From a social aspect, performing in a group provides the following. It provides self-confidence. Everybody's responsible individually for their part to make a piece of music sound beautiful. When you sit down and listen to a recording of a piece of music in your car, at home, on your stereo, you're hearing something that's been recorded with 100% accuracy. And that's the student's goal, is to get to 100% accuracy of their part. And they work together through a team. It builds the student's responsibility because they're responsible for owning and knowing their part, both within their section and within the ensemble and where they fit. Being a part of a musical ensemble builds commitment. You have to be willing to commit yourself to being a part of an ensemble. Also, it builds friendships. When you're performing in an ensemble, you're building friendships with those around you. You're helping others that need help. Obviously, it really does build upon critical thinking. You're really digging into a part, identifying where that part fits into both the section and where that part fits into the ensemble, when to play loud, when to play soft. It also builds the student's facility from muscle and motor function. You have to, as a wind player, you have to know when to move your fingers. You have to know when to articulate, with the inside of your mouth. It builds all these different skills where you're doing multiple things at the same time in order to make an instrument work effectively. And with that, those are all the different skills that kind of go into being a part of a member of the band.
So my name's Amy Bender. I'm an art teacher. It's a way to see the world differently other than just, I think in school so often it's like step 1, step 2, step 3, and in art it's like find the way, right? Not only find the way, create the vision, have the vision, find the way to get there. No one can lay it out for you because it's your own. So having your own journey to a project, finding the solution to it, just solves so many disconnected gaps that they have where they've just been told all these years, do these things. Step 1, step 2, write your name here, do these things. And in art, it's like they have to figure it out. Some of them walk away with a love for art. Some of them just walk away going, I just took an art class. But what they don't realize is that they were given tools and an awareness of viewing the world around them differently.
Employers rank problem solving and teamwork among the top 3 skills they seek. Participation in the arts, athletics, and tech projects has been linked to emotional intelligence and leadership development. Today's careers call for adaptability, creative thinking, and the ability to work across disciplines. These are exactly the kinds of experiences our students are getting, right here in Connections. At Webb Bridge Middle School, we take pride in offering a whole student approach to education. At Webb Bridge Middle School, our Connections classes include fine arts, band, orchestra, chorus, computer science, careers, world language connections, American Sign Language ASL, physical education, health science, audio, video technology and film, art, home economics, family and consumer sciences. These aren't extra classes. They're core to student development. Whether they're working together on a short film, organizing a group cooking project, performing on stage, or solving coding challenges, students are developing skills that matter for life.
I'm Robert Houghton. I work in computer science and I've been doing this for 4 years. So Connections is an opportunity for students to explore their independence, and it gives them opportunities for growing outside of typical norms for a classroom. So in this class, computer science, for a lot of students, it's the first time that they actually get to experience problem solving and critical thinking skills in order to find solutions. You teach kids how to code, and then they implement that code utilizing critical thinking in order to find those solutions that are authentic to the situation. So there is no set yes, no's, right, wrongs. It's their opportunity to explore learning on their own. So when they leave, they're absolutely better off, more prepared for real life situations. I mean, typically speaking, in the professional setting, nobody's going to ask you what battle took place when. They're going to be asking that you implement skill sets. And these connection classes allow students to pick up on those skill sets that are required for the professional level.
This idea of educating the whole child is rooted in scholarship. Frida Easton once wrote that true learning must engage the head, heart, and hands. That philosophy holds true today.
Hi, I'm Miss Cornegay. I teach family and consumer sciences, also known as home economics. Well, I mean, everyone calls it a cooking class, and we certainly do cooking, but the cooking is kind of secondary to the independent problem solving. Just the idea that one day you're going to be on your own to some extent, and if people have been doing stuff for you, which is really nice and wonderful, you can feel a loss of confidence and kind of insecurity when you get around people that were maybe raised differently. And I've seen students kind of really blossom under the opportunity to make mistakes, but that don't have an impact academically because there's so much stress and anxiety about that. Here, your cookies don't come out as good, but that lesson is, a good one. Again, you're not stressed thinking about this. You're not worried about a grade. You're worried about an outcome that matters to you. And so to me, that's like the big benefit of almost all of our connections classes is the less focus on the academic components, which are important and play their role in society. But increasingly, everyone's getting that aspect, and what they're not getting is the rest of it. One thing I like the most about Connections is that we can really build on what's happening in the academics classrooms and help make it clear how those connections work in the real world. I mean, I think that's one of the things we can help you understand is how you're going to need this in real life. And there's a lot of carryover. And I think if you can learn to find those connections, your life is going to be easier and you're going to be more successful. And I think the thing that students learn that's not really like official learning in this class is how to exist in a shared space. It's a soft skill, and that's one of the things that employers are saying nowadays that they're seeing the greatest need for. That means stuff like learning how to properly collaborate, because even in jobs that historically we think of as being more independent work are increasingly more about working on teams. Even like tech industry where you think, oh, I'm coding and I'm sitting at a computer. No, you have meetings, you have to do Kanban boards, you have to do all these kinds of things. And a lot of that you don't learn unless you have a chance to actually work on it and provide that feedback.
Educators like Trifone and Namani continue to emphasize that hands-on interdisciplinary classes improve both academic performance and social-emotional well-being. And as we move toward a future shaped by Industry 5 and emerging technologies, these human-centered skills, empathy, motivation, flexibility, and collaboration, are more essential than ever.
My name is Mr. Ames, and I teach healthcare science. I've been in healthcare for about 20 years and decided to bring that passion to students and show them what healthcare is all about. So during elementary school, they've had a chance to explore careers, look at other things, but as they move into the time in middle school, they get a chance to actually look behind the curtain of healthcare and see what it actually takes to move into roles and become a doctor. They get to see what that actually looks like, and they get to see if it's something they really want to pursue or if they want to look at other options. These aren't just job skills, these are life skills. Whether they go into medicine or not, they walk away with more knowledge than they had to begin with, but they also are able to advocate for themselves in healthcare settings if they're the patient or a family member is the patient. It also gives them the ability to help their friends if something were to happen. Today we're learning CPR. Next week or the week after we're going to start Stop the Bleed. These are all skills that we teach to civilians every day, and it has made a huge impact in the world of medicine.
At Webb Middle School, our kids aren't just passing through, they're becoming. We understand, both from experience and from science, that this is a critical window in their brain development. Their minds are stretching, adapting, and actively searching for meaning. That's why we believe deeply in the power of connections classes. Whether it's through movement in PE, activity in the arts, or exploration in technology and life skills, these courses offer students something foundational, a sense of purpose and an agency. These aren't just electives, they're entry points into identity, motivation, and possibility. When students are encouraged to set goals that reflect their strengths and interests, they gain a greater sense of belonging and well-being, something that research in positive psychology has proven time and time again.
That's why WebBridge invests in connections. That's why we see every class as an opportunity to grow a child's curiosity, character, and confidence. And that's why the students in these classrooms won't just be ready for high school, they'll be ready for anything. Connections aren't just what students take, they're what help them grow, and that's something worth celebrating. Based on research from Cent, Bakshande, 2024, and Easton 1997, and Farraco and others 2022, J. Doon and others 2024, and McCollum 2014, Nemani 2024, and Trifone 2021. Principal's Monologue, and Aylett 5th K, 2004. A positive psychology goal intervention using strengths and values to enhance goals and increase well-being, doctoral dissertation, University of Southern California. ProQuest Dissertations Publishing, and Daniels, E. 2019. Understanding Young Adolescents Through the Intersection of Cognitive Neuroscience, Psychology, and Educational Pedagogy. In DC Virtue Ed, International Handbook of Middle-Level Education Theory, Research and Policy, pp. 91-95. Taylor and Francis, Marshall, R.M. and Newman, S. 2011. The Middle School Mind, Growing Pains in Early Adolescent Brains, Roman and Littlefield Education, Soldo, S.M., Savage, J.A., and Mercer, S.H. 2014. Increasing Middle School Students' Life Satisfaction, Efficacy of a Positive Psychology Group Intervention. Journal of Happiness Studies, 15-1, 19-42.